always feel you are always left out. Encouraging others to adopt similar behaviors towards the target. You find that the person who is the initiator of relation of bullying is also going to influence other people to be to have a similar behavior towards the targeted person. Let me give an example here where we are. If Rose is being bullied by maybe Lusungu or any other person, the other person would make sure they bring others on board. They will tell Banji, don't be a friend to Rosie. If you have a birthday party, don't invite Rose to come for that party. So bullying is not it's not good. So then, after having talked about the types of bullying, I've talked about three. There is physical bullying, we have in fact four. We have verbal bullying, we have cyber bullying, we also have relational relational bullying, which is also referred to as social bullying. So now then, what are some of the signs of bullying? So the first sign that we have is what we call social isolation. So social isolation, you'll find a person who is bullied, they will not be able to be around their friends. They'll always want to be away because they are not regarded to be as important as any other person. Then the other one is sudden behavior. Somebody who is being bullied, they'll have a certain kind of behavior which is just sudden. So bullying has got its own signs and it's very bad. So this one, when we talk about sudden behavior changes, you find somebody who would smile when they're at home. They just become aggressive. Sometimes they don't even want to talk to anyone and stuff like that. Then the other one, which is very common for me being a teacher, I see a situation where some children tend to become reluctant to go to school because they are being bullied. So they withdraw from going to school. They don't want to be closer to school because each time they reach school, they feel that's not a safe environment for them. So now, um, what are some of the dangers of bullying? So the first danger that we have is the deep depression. Somebody will go into depression because they are being bullied. And in the long run, it affects their mental being. So somebody who is being bullied who may go into depression, they may even fail to think straight. The other danger is the anxiety. You're always just anxious because you're being bullied. Then the other thing is low self-esteem. So bullying makes somebody to have low self-esteem. Usually for you who are here, when you're given something to present, when you're being bullied, your friends laugh at you, you tend to withdraw and move away and just say, no, me, I can't do it, even when you can do it. So those are the dangers of bullying. It can bring about mental issues where we're going to find somebody becoming depressed, develops anxiety, they even have a low self-esteem. Then the other one, they'll also have health issues, chronic illnesses, because they're being bullied. They're not given a chance to express themselves. They tend to get sick, and in the long run, they get sick. Because of the depression, they'll have chronic illnesses. We find some children who may be younger, they develop hypertension because of being bullied. They have chronic illnesses. Then I've already talked about when we see the signs the dangers are that you begin to avoid the school. Others, they even harm themselves, self-harm. Others, because they're being bullied, you find they're hitting walls, cutting themselves and stuff like that. Then others, then the other point is that you find that a child who is being bullied will also develop suicidal intentions. They begin to think about committing suicide. Then the last one, but not the least among the dangers, is that there is decreased academic performance. So somebody who is bullied at school because they are fearing to go to class, if it's in a boarding school, they will just be saying no, they are sick, and their academic performance goes where? Down. So after having talked about the signs, the dangers, what are some of the interventions that we can bring in? And before we go to the interventions, there's one last thing that I would love to talk about: long-term consequences of bullying. These, they can persist into adulthood, causing persistent mental health issues as well as social difficulties. So bullying is very bad because it does not just end at a tender age. You will find that even in the later stage of an adult, it will come in. And these are the people that we find that most of the times they have got mental issues, they also have health issues, and they also have social issues. Somebody who's been bullied when they were young, even when they grow up in their adulthood, they are not social people. Most of the times, they always think about that trauma which they went through when they were bullied. So these are some of the dangers of bullying. So now, when we go to the Bible, we are going to find some verses that talk about bullying. Though they may not be directly linked, but when we look at bullying, usually somebody who is a bully, they don't have much love for their friends. So when we read in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus chapter 19, in Matthew chapter 5, verses 43 to 48, we are going to find that these bullying lessons are there, where the Bible is telling us to say, love your neighbor as you love your friend. If you love somebody, are you going to bully anyone? You won't, isn't it? Then second Timothy chapter 1, verses 7, God has told us to say that he has given us the spirit of fear. He has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. So if you have got a sound mind, you're not going to bully your friend because you're going to show love. So there are many other verses from the Bible that we can actually learn from. So the Bible is encouraging us to love each other. So now, after having read about this, let's now look at some of the interventions, or how are we going to address cyber bullying. Oh, sorry. How are we going to address bullying in different forms? Number one, as a teacher or as a parent, you need to act as a mediator. So me, if I'm a teacher, I don't need to be the one to perpetuate or to encourage cyberbullying. I'm supposed to make sure all the children that are being bullied, it's not something that goes on, but as a teacher, I'm supposed to be the mediator. Then the other thing that I need to do, I need to gather information quickly. Then the third one is to check the behavior of the what? Consent. Then when if we want to clear the issue of cyberbullying, we need to make sure that we intervene just there and then. Immediately when a child reports to say that they are being bullied, let's intervene. We shouldn't wait. No, we'll talk about it later and give the child excuses here and there. Just there and then when it is reported, we need to do what? To intervene. Then the other thing that we need to do, we need to make sure that we make it clear to say that bullying, in capital letters, bullying is unacceptable behavior, whether in or outside. If it's at school, if it's at home, it should never be allowed, whether we are at home or we are not at home. Bullying should not be what? Should not be allowed. Anywhere where bullying is taking place, we should by all means try to make sure that it does not happen, because it is not what? Allowed. It is not a good behavior. It is an acceptable behavior. So now, having said that, there's one aspect that I forgot to, but as we are going on with you guys, I'm sure we'll be able to find out what really is the cause of bullying. What is that person who is a bully looking for? I'm sure they are looking for someone, isn't it? Who they can look down upon. So bullying is not good, and bullying has to be done away with completely. We have read from the Bible that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. So even as we are socializing with our friends, let's have a sound mind. Let us show love to one another. Let us not be people who are intimidating others. So for now, those are the areas that we have looked at. We looked at bullying itself. This is a behavior. It is unwanted. It is aggressive. Usually bullying is intentional. So those who bully their friends, it's not that they don't know what they are doing. Most of the times they do what they know. They want to gain status by demeaning the social standing of what? Another person. So bullying is not a good thing. Bullying should be discouraged at all costs. It shouldn't be something that should be encouraged, whether at home or at school. We should know to say that bullying should not be what? Encouraged. So for now, I'll ask from you guys, or even from the parents who are around, to ask questions. Then we can go further and see what we can do next. Any questions from you guys?
Children, do we have anyone with a question? Please, you can raise your hand. It's 20 hours and yes, we need to close. Do we have any question? I can't see any hand, children. Anyone who has a question or any teacher want to comment? Okay, teacher, you can summarize.
I also want you to talk about
Pastor, there's someone who wants to give a comment.
Submission.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Pastor Misha, I want to comment. We would also love you to talk about those of our friends who are the ones that are into bullying others. Yeah, so yes, we have emphasized on the bullying, our children being bullied, but what about maybe some of our friends? How can we intervene if maybe they are the ones that are bullying others?
Okay. So, like I mentioned, the intervention that we can take, especially for those who are bullying others, we need to tell them to say that they need to be kind. We use maybe a poster, if it is in a classroom situation, we use a poster which says, be kind, be a buddy, and not a what? A bully. So for children who are bullies, we need to tell them to say, the Bible tells us to say that we need to have a spirit of love and of a sound mind, and not to instill fear in others. That's my comments. Maybe Pastor, you can come in.
No, I have no words. What you have said, that's the truth. Maybe the shepherdess, please, you can come through.
Yeah, yes, I just wanted to contribute like what she has already said. I think we also need to be sensitizing our children. Sometimes you find that ours are the ones that they are not the victims, but maybe they are the ones that are involved in such acts. So as parents, we also need to find out from our children what happened during the day. And I think from the conversation as you are talking to them, you might also pick something to say, he or she is the one who started or is bullying others. So I think open conversation with our children also to ask them, did you fight at school or who was fighting? Sometimes you find the child, the way the child is explaining, you are able to know that, oh, okay, I think he or she is the one who started the fight or started laughing at a friend. Yeah, so like what she said, the presenter said, I think open conversation is very important. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you very much, Doc. Shepherdess, we really appreciate. Over to you, the presenter. You can summarize and then we close. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much. In summary, I would just say, number one, like the previous speaker mentioned, we need to sensitize the issue of bullying to our children. We also need to create and promote a culture of respect, because somebody who bullies others, it means they don't have respect. So we are supposed to promote the create and promote a culture of respect for other people. And then we also need to ensure that we make it clear to say that this behavior of bullying is unacceptable. Then the other one, we are supposed to encourage a positive environment where if it's at school, it has to involve other people like the nurses, the drivers, the police and stuff like that, they need to come in. And then the other one is that we are supposed to emphasize on how each of them can make a big difference when they intervene for somebody that is being what? Bullied. So let's encourage our children to stand in for the other person that is being bullied, and not for them to also start doing that so that they also gain social status. Because mainly, when we look at the causes of bullying, we're going to find to say that it is just about wanting to control others, improving our social status. So in conclusion, I can say that even us as adults, we can help by talking about it. Let's talk about it in our homes. Let's talk about it in our schools. It should be an open discussion. Let's get the views. Let's also find out when a child reports, let's investigate. So when we look at bullying, there are what we are calling the five D's, where you direct, delegate, distract, delay, as well as what? Document. So when you use this, you're going to discover to say that it will be easy for us to curb bullying. And in most cases, because we react there and then, so we find that it's very difficult. Even when a child is being bullied, they will not be able to report, or even themselves when they are bullying somebody, they will keep quiet. But if we use the 5 Ds, that is direct, delegate, distract, delay, as well as the document, we're going to find that the problem of bullying is something that will be an walkover thing. Thank you. Those are my last comments, Pastor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Siakachoma. We really appreciate that. The network is clear.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. We can have boys and girls. Thank you very much. We'll meet again on Friday, 19 to 20 hours. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I joined late. Very